What's going on? How you folks doing? Welcome to another episode of Walking with Willie. We're in an old abandoned Soviet boat factory, and the topic of today's discussion is the Tatárjárás, aka the Mongol invasion of Hungary in the middle of the 13th century. Well, that used to be open. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it's closed now. So we're gonna try to find an alternative entrance of sorts. Oh, I think I spy one already. So cast your mind back to 1226. That is the year that Genghis Khan passes away. And as you can expect, when the great Khan departs into the Mongolian afterlife, there is a great deal of factional strife in the wake of his passing. And this lasted for a few years until one of Genghis's 10 million sons, Ogedei, was able to consolidate power. And Ogedei Khan decided, upon taking the reins of this rapidly expanding Mongolian empire, that he was going to make incursions into Central Europe. So the Mongols begin to sweep through Kievan Rus and Russia and Cumania, and they begin decimating all the tribes that lived there. You got the Kipchaks, you got the Pechenegs, you got the remnants of the Avars, and notably the Cumans. Now the Cumans are a semi-nomadic Turkic people who have light features. They were reported by many of the chroniclers of the era to have blonde hair, blue eyes, and be this sort of alien-like Turkic ethnic group. And the Cumans are fleeing from the Mongols, absolutely scurrying like mice, and they come to seek refuge inside Hungary. And the king at the time, Béla IV, he says, well, you know, I don't really want to take these guys, but I suppose I'll allow them to have safe haven, because crucially they bring Béla knowledge that the Mongol horde is imminently going to attack and sweep through Hungary itself. So the Mongols, they come storming over the Carpathian Mountains through the Varenke Pass, which ironically was the very same mountain pass that the early Magyars used to come into Hungary in the first place. And Béla, he's getting a little bit nervous. These savage beasts are just knocking on his door. And you know, he asks Western Europe for help. He says to the Pope, please, we're a Christian nation. We're about to get eviscerated by these savage pagan tribal maniacs. And the Pope, he basically says, you're on your own. Sorry, Béla. And so Batu Khan and the Golden Horde, they come into Hungary in 1241. And by April time, they're ready to make their big attack. And it occurs at a town called Mohi. And the battle is known as the Battle of Mohi, aka the Battle of the Sziastok River. And this is where, oh, look at these guys. The graffiti in this boat factory is so unfathomably dope. This is where the real graffiti is in Budapest. I mean, you have the big murals in the downtown, but that ain't got shit compared to this. Regardless, the Mongols, under the leadership of Batu Khan, absolutely eviscerate the Hungarians at the Battle of the Sziastok River. And Béla IV, the king, he's present at this battle. And he has to make a run for it and hightail it up to Austria first and then down into the Dalmatian coast. I actually also had to once hightail it down to the Dalmatian coast, but that is a story for another day. Oh yes, let's go down to the riverside and see some of the kayaks go by. So the Mongols are sweeping through the rest of Hungary. They're pillaging, they're massacring, they're raping, they're doing all the things that Mongols do. In fact, they say up to 50% of the Hungarian people were depopulated after the Mongol massacre. And that's why this event lives on as an incredibly traumatic experience for the Hungarian peoples. Oh, look at the kayaks over there. We need to rent one of those. Wonderful. So Béla has hightailed it down to Dalmatia. Hungary is in a ruined and eviscerated state. And it looks like the Mongols are going to sweep forth through Austria. They make it all the way to the Adriatic Sea, and it seems like they're going to accomplish their goal and just be able to decimate the rest of Europe. However, in the winter of 1241, Ogedei Khan dies. And all of the Mongol leaders are called back to the capital at Karakorum, as is tradition, to choose the next leader. Batu never actually makes it to Karakorum, instead choosing to set up his golden horde in Russia, which became a separate factional part of the Mongolian Empire, which he ruled over as its Khan for many years to come. But regardless, they leave Hungary, and Béla IV is able to now rebuild the country. And one thing that he's learned from this experience with the Mongols is that they don't do so well with stone castles. And during the 1240s and the 1250s, he's commissioning all of these stone castles to be built in the areas that the Mongols ransacked in their first incursion. And another thing that he does is he delineates a lot of baronial power to the nobles in these regions who previously he wasn't too fond of. Lastly, he invites the Cumans into his kingdom. Sick. Yo, what's up? How you guys doing? Very cool. It smells good. Now the Cumans, if you remember, were these fair-haired, metal-masked, blue-eyed, nomadic Turkic people. And they were one of the chief enemies of the Mongols during their first sweep to Russia. And Béla, in part to help rebuild and repopulate his kingdom, invites them in to come settle into the Hungarian heartlands. And this causes, as you can imagine, some tension with the local population. But ultimately, the Cumans begin the process of assimilation during these decades following the first invasion. And they assimilate so well, in fact, that a daughter of a Cuman chieftain, Elizabeth, marries Béla's son, Stephen. And once Lizzie gets involved, mischief starts to be made. You see, the pagan Cumans were a different sort. They dressed differently than the Hungarians, they lived differently than the Hungarians, they ate differently than the Hungarians. And Elizabeth, she was a little bit of a troublemaker. Now, Stephen has a very short and tragic reign alongside his wife Elizabeth. And he dies soon after taking power in 1272. So for 2 years, he's in charge, 1270 to 1272. We don't know, maybe he was assassinated. The Cumans, they were big fans of poison and betrayal and all this sort of stuff. Bottom line is, he dies. His son, Ladislaus IV, comes into power at a very tender young age, where he's incredibly easy to manipulate. And Ladislaus, or Laszlo, as the Hungarians call him, is basically leading alongside his mother, Lizzie the Cuman. And once Laszlo is of age, he decides, you know what? I'm more of a Cuman than a Hungarian anyway. He's been raised by his mother, Lizzie, and he dresses like a Cuman, he eats like a Cuman. I probably think he has sex like a Cuman. Now, he essentially has a very weak kingdom at this time, but, and the big but, is that in 1285, when the Mongols come back, Laszlo is able to repel them. Not really because of any masterful military tactics that he's developed, but because Béla IV had the foresight to install these stone fortresses all over Hungary. And not just in the conventional locations where they were before, but throughout his realm, in Slovakia, in Croatia, in the east, in Transylvania. And even if you visit a lot of these places today, you can see the remains of Béla's foresight. And these stone castles, they're not so easy for the Mongols to conquer. You know, they're used to basically raining hellfire down on all these peoples of the steppes. But the stone castle deal, it's not really their cup of tea. This place is so cool. I mean, come on. You can't get any cooler than this. I'm getting a little dizzy. I think it's a cumulative effect of the asbestos and the spray paint. But, I mean, for this footage, I don't know. I'd do just about anything. Look at this. This is what dreams are made of. This is why we play the game. This is why we play the game. All right, what do you want me to do? Take a picture?
Yeah, with you.
With me?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Dope. That's my city, New York. Oh. So I like the Yankees. Sick. Goodbye. Lovely to meet you guys. Nagyon Orolok. Hey, you too. Have a nice day. Oh, fuck. I got like cameras in there. You could sell this for like $500. Tatarokkal együtt adtuk a tartomátást. Szia!
Jó estét kívánok!
Köszönöm szépen. Egészségedre. The 40K's műves sörfőzde. Should be interesting. Oh, wow. This was unexpected. This was very, very, very unexpected. A Roman amphitheater in the midst. Oh, yes. Wow. Lovely. Absolutely spectacularly lovely. Egészségedre. And that's a little segue into next week's episode. Ancient Rome. In Budapest. Thanks for watching, folks. It's been an unbelievable pleasure. Subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. Walking with Willie.